Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time is of the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Gambit. So, let's get started on reviewing the Raging Cajun. So, um, I know that I did not review this right away. I have been on a small break, but this is actually too much stuff to review right now. So, I'm a little overwhelmed. Want to point that out. But outside of that stuff, I know some people have some gripes with the Revoltech Gambit. Some of those issues, I totally understand. Some of them, I guess, is just a matter of preference. But there are some ones that are totally understandable, and we're going to get into that in this video. Anyway, I will say this, though. He does look absolutely stunning visually, and just standing up here in a natural pose, he looks really, really good. And that's one of the things I want to point out, is that Revoltech has actually come a long way of always seeing those really blocky joints that everyone didn't enjoy to looking a lot smoother. Now here he is, just standing straight up. And I gotta say, he looks really good. Yeah, you see the joints, but it's not a bad thing at this point. Like, it doesn't look as unaesthetically pleasing that a lot of people originally had thought. And even turning around, outside of the whole jacket issue, because, you know, there's lots of broken parts for the aesthetic. If you're looking at him from behind, yes, it is an eyesore. But on the front hand side, it looks absolutely great. And it's a good look. I like it. It's cut up in a... Ooh, well, damn. It's cut up in a lot of ways that allow you to break the joints and actually get the best amount of articulation. And we're going to go over that right now. The very first gripe that I'm actually going to talk about is the fact that Gambit's head does not stay in place in this top part. So this faceplate and this neck piece they are annoying, to say the very least. They are annoying. But this right here, the faceplate constantly coming out, that is by far one of the worst issues I've seen on Gambit overall. And it's not just me, it's a lot of other people. So it may come off a few times during this review while posing him. And then the neck issue here tied to his, I don't actually know what to call that. I'm going to call this armor for a guy who wears the kind of outfit that he does, because it doesn't change much over the years. But this piece with the neck, actually, there's a lot of mobility here. But the problem is my neck joint actually comes out a lot, and it doesn't sit in place. And when that happens, it actually causes a ton of hindrance, like this sitting on top right here. And see, there's a faceplate right there. So that's probably the number one issue, my faceplate and my neck piece. Everything else actually sits in place very well. So what I do recommend that you do to fix this remedy is you go under. What you're going to do is you're going to heat it up. So you're going to put it in hot water or use a blow dryer. Take the faceplate off. You're going to get this under first and make sure this snaps in. And while moving the chest piece forward, try to get it on this joint. And this is going to be a arduous task at first, because you might to make sure it slips under. And once you do that, it actually betters your articulation to this point for the neck. But see, mine's, again, pops out constantly. I just don't know what that is. It could just be me. I don't want to say it's an overall issue, but it does causes me to, it slows me down when I want to pose. It definitely does. And I just don't know what it is, so I got to figure that out. But I'm actually, for the first time, going to have to edit it out. Well, try to edit it, because I'm terrible at that kind of stuff. I'm going to have to edit this, because I don't want to spend too much time on this. And I just don't like this. There's a lot of time spent on fixing this neck joint, and I'm going to have to find ways around it, because it is a long joint. And right here, you can see it fits in well, it works well. There's the long joint here. Then there's the neck peg for the head. You plug it in. And actually, I'm not even going to edit. I'm going to go all in one go. And the reason why is because I want to show you guys a remedy to this issue without it being a pain in the tuchus. So I actually got to put the, see, and then my neck peg came right back out. See, this is arduous and frustrating, like I said it would be. Here's his face mask. You want to put that under. Then you pop on the plate. Actually, I think I have it upside down. Yep, there it is. Now it fell off. So here. And then we're going to put the neck peg in. And now back to the faceplate. So again, I'm sorry for taking up all that time with that, but I just wanted to make sure I showed you that's probably his number one issue. Well, he looks the part, but the problem being is that articulation issue is a bummer. Now, for standard Revoltech articulation, Gambit has it all while pleasing the aesthetics, with the exception of the neck and the head. So, just like the previous ones, you can actually rotate his back and forth with these arm section. The head has Obviously, you see it. Faceplate again. He has great amount of articulation in the neck and the head, and his functionality is great. It's just the neck peg is going to look long without the faceplate on it, or the head in general. And then we have the arms. So the arm moves in 2 spots, which you actually with standard Revoltech. So you can see it comes out. There's bicep swivel, which rotates on the joint, and my joint came out. But this is easy remedy for Revoltech because you can just snap that right back in and have no real issues. The arms are double jointed because of the joints that are for Revoltech. But again, see, this is going to be a problem because it is a great toy, but this one is going to be a pain in the butt in terms of the neck section. So when you are going to be moving around a lot of these joints, you're going to be upset. There is a back piece for the jacket here, which actually rotates and swivels, and it's on a 2-part prong. So as you can see, it wiggles out and rotates here. So if you want to imitate the jacket flying up and doing royal flush or jumping poses, this is really good as well. Then we have the midsection, which is really cool because there's standard ab crunch there, and the jacket is actually holding under its weight, which is really nice. And then you're going to have a secondary rotation which swivels left and right, which gives you a nice rotation. There won't be a bottom crunch there. It's really tight in there, but you do get a far extending ab crunch. It's very nice. So when you put his head up, he actually has the posing. So yeah, the arms, as you know before I showed you, it's on 2 prongs. So pose it up, and then you can go backwards, you can go forwards, you can go all the way around. He can actually cross his arms very easily. So see if I can get this one. Yep, there we go. So you can get the Charmer's pose. And like I said, it all looks good from the front, but there will be issues when you try to look from the back. The shoulders can actually come up on the jacket as well. So you can actually do a lot with him. Once you get over this neck joint issue, you should be fine. But if it bothers you a lot, you are definitely going to have to pass on this figure. It's going to take a lot of time to work around that and heat it up and deal with it, but it will take a lot of time. Next up, we have the legs. Now, the legs get a little tricky because they use a bit of the Wolverine technique with it. They gave him some ball joints, which I went over at the end of this video, but I'm actually going to show you here. I'm going to pop it off. And then you have these big, big ball joints. Now, it's not like the standard Revoltech that we've seen before, where we're constantly going to rotate it and round and have a full range of articulation. We don't have that here. So we're going to pop that in. So here, instead, we get a limited range in this section. So we can only go up and down, a little bit out. But you have a thigh swivel that will help you manipulate all of that other stuff. So, for instance, we go up, thigh swivel, lots of ankle pivot there for that joint, or thigh pivot. As you can see here, you can do whatever you need to do, left and right. Then you have a secondary rotation here. Then you have a leg joint that goes pretty much anywhere with your ankle pivot that allows to make up for all that other articulation. So you can easily, let's actually get him in a cool pose so he doesn't look terrible like all the time. So I apologize, I haven't posed him really cool yet. Gambit can actually get really cool poses. So let's see. Here's a jumping pose. That faceplate, man. Here is him crouching down, which looks very good and very easy. Let me rotate that down. So let's point this up. There we go. This is actually going to be in a longer video because I have to go over so much. So, voila. I suggest if you are not going to change Gambit's faceplate, you either use a little bit of sticky tack, or if you're never ever going to change that plate or his eyes, glue it in. I normally would not recommend that, but this is actually pretty bothersome. So let's actually fix his natural posing. So let's say Gambit was doing a stance where he came crashing down. Man, that faceplate is so bothersome. He can actually get the pose in really nice. He can do a 3-point stance very easily. So let's fix this up. So all in all, like, the Gambit is very nice. I think that the neck and the head peg are going to be what kill you so far with this figure, because he actually comes with a nice bit of accessories as well, and I'm going to get into that right now. So let's fix him up. Let's get him to stand up. So mad at this head peg. What? How did he lose all the way back there? Oh, one more thing I do want to point out. is that you can totally change Gambit's eye direction. So as you can see, you can change it around, and you get a small piece for that to allow you to change the direction whichever way you want to do it. So keep that in mind. So let's fix your neck up, and then we're going to go into your accessories. And I'm going to find a way to fix this neck joint, even because I'm so bothered by it, because this is such a good toy that it shouldn't be one of those things that totally set you back. Because he looks the part, he plays the part. One minor malfunction shouldn't bother you, but if it does, I get it. You know what I mean? So let's fix you up real nice. Let's make you look good. Get you sitting flush. There we go. Now that you look good, let's talk about you. You also get Gambit staff, which is his staple. I already have one hand attached for it. Fits in really well. Just slides right in. And it holds it up very well. It's lightweight enough so that it holds very easily. And you shouldn't have too much of an issue with it. It's just a staff. It's really nice. And it's not hard plastic, but it's also not soft plastic. So you get a little bit of wiggle room when bending it. So if it falls, you should be okay. Next up, we're going to talk about Gambit's closed fist. You get this, and this other one here is on his left hand already. Next up, you're going to get an extra faceplate as well. This is his angry faceplate. You can also move the eyes on this one. Considering Gambit's face is mostly covered in a semi-thief mask, it's okay that it looks that small, at least in my opinion. Then you're going to get these open palm hands, which is open action hands. These can also hold cards and or the pole. Not very well, but they can hold it. And I think because these were more meant for action or grabbing items or make it look like you're grabbing jewelry, because, you know, Gambit's a thief. Then you're going to get two more hands that one holds the staff, as you saw, but it can also hold his kinetic card. Now, the kinetic card is going to look like this in each of the hands. It has a little piece there. This piece is going to slide into the same hand that holds it. That way it can hold it very, very well without dropping it. See? No issue. It holds it very well. I wish his face held that way, but that's not the case here. Then you're going to get these action throwing palms, which actually look like he's throwing or holding his kinetic card. And if you see here, there's a small groove in the hand. With that, you actually have a place to place his kinetic card feature. And I have the wrong one, because they're going to go in each direction. There's a specific direction for them, because if you want to, as you can see here, it's going to look like he's holding them or throwing them, depending on what you're doing, for his kinetic card feature. These look absolutely stunning. They're made in the kinetic energy. I made the lighting that way as well, so it actually looks like, to set the tone for it, they look very, very well. I love these. They fit in perfectly in the groove, and they don't come out. These are really dope. One more thing I want to add on, a couple of things, is that the Kaiyodo actually changed their stage a little. I'm never going to use this, so I didn't take it out the plastic. You can actually plug it into different ports now, which is pretty cool, to adjust your position, or if you want to do a fight scene version. This is the newest version of the Kaiyodo stage. It's included with Gambit. And on Gambit's box, if I can find out where I put it, because I normally don't show boxes, but Kaiyodo says it, and they've also put it on their Twitter, is that for Gambit, what you want is, if you want some extra cards, you can actually cut these guys out to have some extra cards. If you don't have any 1/12 scale cards, there's one on each side of the box, so keep that in mind. Now we're going to jump into the size comparisons. Now, this is where, if you are a big X-Men fan, hopefully you'll be happy, because I've been sitting here trying to pull out as many X-Men as I can for this, to try to fit different eras, because Gambit's clothing mostly doesn't change for most of those eras, but other people's do. And I know the first and foremost one you want to see is how he looks with Rogue. So I'm going to try to stand him up real nice so we can get him next to Rogue. So here he is with Marvel Legends Rogue. And I think they work really well together size-wise, because she's smaller than him, but she, you know, she has a muscular frame. She's been keeping in certain sort of mutant powers from Captain Marvel. Oh, sorry, I should say at the time, Miss Marvel. But she put her in a coma and kept some of her powers for a very long time. So here's Gambit standing straight up next to her. They fell for a second. The only thing is that Gambit's head is really small, so next to her, his head looks very tiny. That's the #1 issue. But overall, I think body-wise, they look pretty good together, that it blends enough if you do like an action shot or a lovey-dovey scene. I think you'll be okay. Here is Gambit next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops. I chose the era that most people tend to like, which is the 90s Jim Lee era. I totally prefer the Matt Fraction Ed Brewbreaker run, but here we are with the fan favorite. Here he is next to a Marvel Legends Wolverine. Now I think this looks really well together, these two. The height-wise difference looks really good. Next up, we're going to do a Mezco Wolverine. So you guys, like I said, in case you don't have a Marvel Legend or you want to mix and match. And while the first one looked a lot better, this one actually still works as well because Wolverine is still shorter. He still has to look up to Gambit, so that says a lot right there. Next up, we're going to compare him to a Mezco Captain America. Just going to knock the Mezco stuff out of the way. And Gambit even has some height on Cap here, which is pretty cool. Gambit is a tall guy, so I think it works out here. The Raging Cajun takes no prisoners, only your hearts. I'm just going to put Juggernaut in the background here, so you can see just how big Juggernaut is, even compared to Remy. Then we're going to compare to the Marvel Legends Psylocke and the Revoltech Psylocke. So that's the Marvel Legends one. And here is the Revoltech one. Which I think the Revoltech one fits better to show the height discrepancy, but the Marvel Legend will probably look better in a team photo, depending on what you do, because you can make both work. Since I passed the Wolverines, I totally forgot to do Revoltech Wolverine, who also fits the height requirements and will probably look good together in your Marvel vs. Capcom display for these two. So if you're going to get your Marvel vs. Capcom on, these two totally fit the bill. Next up, against a taller Marvel Legends character, I chose Sabretooth, because they've teamed up a few times. Not too many, but just enough, just in case you wanted to see a team up. So here he is, and Sabretooth is actually taller than him, which actually fits really well. He shouldn't have been taller than Sabretooth. Here he is next to a 1000 toy synthetic human. Who, I don't know why I posed him this way, but you know what? I like it. So there we are with that. Here he is next to a normal Marvel Legends. I chose Spider-Man. He's out around the average height. So Remy stands above all with a lot of the height issues. So that's pretty good. So, you know, Rage Occasion is a tall guy. It actually works out. Big, tall teeth. And last but not least, the SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Kuga, who is tiny compared to Gambit. So, yeah. In the meantime, guys, hope you enjoy. Oh, wait. Before I go, I'm sorry. Here's an articulated Icon Ninja. Stays, you know, in case the Thieves Guild fight everybody. So last but not least, I hope you enjoy. Hope you found it informative. But most of all, guys, I hope you do good, be good, drink your water. Later.